Introducing, hosting from the Portuguese section of Massachusetts, representing those that choose the Sioux, representing for all his boys mocked because they can't see colors. The man, the king, the motherfucking god of this pod, Matt Souza.
Hosting from the taint of America, representing that fuck, marry, kill game, representing for all the dudes in the group chat, Central Time, representing the motherfucking Late Club, it's Gen DK.
Maddie,
Jenny.
Episode number 6. How are you?
Good. Crazy that we have done 6 of these.
I know. 6 months worth.
I know.
Like that.
We're dedicated.
We are. We're amazing.
Yeah,
That's what we are.
Yeah, I've always said that about myself.
Me too. And what is also amazing is that we both went to GCW shows in the month since we talked last, which I love that for us. And I think that shows how dedicated we are, especially to the podcast. And as fans, because we are fully fucking, we're just all in at this point. If we weren't already.
All in's for another company, but I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
So I mean, we'll get into the specifics, but overall, what did you think about your live experience?
Oh, so this was my second GCW show that I had gone to. I was at the Will Ospreay, Nick Wayne show last year, and this time I took the 2-hour drive to the suckhole that is Hartford, Connecticut, and went to GCW Cleanup Man, and I tell you, well worth the 2-hour drive, which we'll get into later on when we go through the results. But yeah, I mean, just an awesome show. The crowd was lit the entire night. It was a really neat looking building. They had a neat setup too, with like that video board that they had there, I guess was days old, which I found out afterwards. They had just put that up like last week. So apparently they put it up for GCW. That was very nice of them. But the setup was really cool. Having second row seats was cool as hell. And lit crowd all night. Crowd was on fire the entire night. So yeah, I mean, it's a blast. If you've never gone to a GCW show, I mean, you should probably get to one. It's well worth it. It's a ton of fun. You're gonna have a blast. And I went, it was me and our friend James Grunberg, Grooney. We went and we met up, and he had a great time too, from what I could see. So highly recommend going to GCW.
I love that. I love you and Grooney going to shows together. You should do that. We should do that more often.
If they do more shows in Connecticut, I will.
Yeah. And so I saw that light board, and it was intense. Like on camera, from what I recall that show, it's just like it was very bright.
See, it was bright, but like it didn't look as nuclear lit as it did on camera in the building. Yeah. So I'm wondering if it was like a camera issue they had, because I mean, I watched it back. I watched a little bit of it back, and like it was all washed out, and it looked like the ring was on the surface of the sun. It did not look like that in the building. I'll say that. But
I say all that. I didn't hate it. I mean, it's sort of different. It's sort of cool to see something a little bit different. Because usually, look, we had a backyard show in the month of July.
Right, so, exactly.
Just different aesthetics for different show. I'm on board. Like,
and I think, and again, we'll get into this when we talk about the card itself too. But I think because it was a new market in Hartford, they had never run Hartford before. I think they wanted to kind of make this show feel like it was a big deal. With the presentation, some of the matches that were there, and I think it came across real. I mean, the lights for Nick Gage's entrance were insane. Like usually you don't get the flickering strobe light seizure-inducing lights for Nick Gage. So I think that was what they were going for, was to try and make that show feel like a big deal for a new market. And I think they pretty much accomplished
Did it feel
that.
a big deal when you were there?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it came across?
Yeah.
And it was the sold-out crowd? Was it a big crowd?
It was jammed. I know there were a couple of guys when we were waiting in line who had bought seats, so they had tickets at the door. But I mean, once the show started, it was jammed, and it was loud, like
Yes.
to the point where like the people sitting in front of us ended up putting earplugs in. Like it was that fucking loud.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Who goes to GCW and puts earplugs? Just saying.
I don't know. Like,
no disrespect, but
I wonder if it was the building, because it's like it was a concert venue, so I'm guessing the acoustics in there were really good. But it was fucking like my ears were like blocked the next day. Like it was
wow.
It was loud in there.
All the senses were attacked.
Yeah, all of them.
In Connecticut, no less.
Yeah, I could almost taste it
and smell it for sure.
Oh, you could. We'll get to that later too, with one reefer based.
Oh
wrestler.
yes, okay, yes. Well, with all that being said, well, I guess I don't know. I guess I should talk about my live experience since we're doing that now. I've actually got some videos that, if I remember to, I'll show you guys when we talk about it. Just a couple little clips, but I went to Huntsville. I went to Mastermind. I believe that was the name of that one, and had front row seats. Kind of a funny story on that, because when I went to Huntsville in November, I sat next to a dude, and we ended up talking, and I told him we were going to do the podcast, and he ended up following me on Twitter. His name's Micah. Shout out Micah. And he texted me. He's like, you gonna come back up for Huntsville? And I'm like, no, man, I kind of don't have the money. And I was kind of like, blah, 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 blah. I really wanted to do it. And then I just said, and he was like, oh, I'm kind of bummed I had a ticket, whatever, if you wanted to come up. And I was like, well, shit, it's front row. So I hemmed and hawed, and then I finally said, oh, fuck it. I'll do it. So had a blast. Micah, sweet dude, super nice, and we just screamed our balls off the whole time. It was awesome because we were sitting on the front, so like right when the wrestlers would come out, every single one of them went the other way, because I was like, we're going to be on camera all night. I haven't even watched back. I don't even know if we made it on camera, because every single time they would go the other way. But it was awesome though, because I got to see them like super close, and the venue was really cool in Huntsville, and I ended up freaking loving that show. I screamed. I lost my voice for like 2 days. We got to see skewers and doors, no light tubes, but we did. What are the little metal plate thingies?
Oh, the gusset plates.
Gusset plates. We got those. So it was bloody as hell. Nick Gage came out and ran into some people, literally just ran them over during his intro. That was awesome. They were standing right there. So just a blast of a show in Huntsville. So again, nothing but praise for a live experience,
Oh yeah, I mean live. It's great watching it obviously on Fight, but going live, it's a whole different beast.
It's awesome. Yeah. And then I get to go again to Detroit, so I'm just like really spoiled for GCW shows so far. It sucks though, because once you start getting used to it, it's like once you miss stuff, it hurts.
It's a problem.
Bad, real bad. All right. So all that said, we'll get into some results from the month. Sometimes I forget and I vibe too much on the song, and then I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
gotta go back. All right,
good deal.
so this is from June 17th. Thank Me Later. What happened on that show?
We had, I believe, this is from the famous, world famous Ukrainian Cultural Center.
Of course.
We had Farm Boy, excuse me, Charlie,
Mm-hmm.
defeating Cole Radrick. Kevin Knight beat Alec Price. Joey Janela and Sawyer Wreck defeated Los Macizos. Santana Jackson defeated Jimmy Lloyd. Jack Cartwheel defeated Kevin Blackwood and Titus Alexander in a three-way. Rina Yamashita defeated Maki Ito. Effie defeated Kenny King. And then in the main event, Zack Sabre Jr. beat Nick Gage, which was very surprising to me.
It was very surprising because I was like, I don't remember if I watched the show until we got to that main event. I was like, oh yeah, I did watch that show. Because we were like, what? What did you think about that one?
So I did like the main event. I like Zack Sabre Jr. I think he's really good, but I was kind of surprised at how quickly the match was under. It was like just a hair under 15 minutes. I was kind of surprised that they had Gage lose the way he did. It was kind of like some sort of weird roll-up thing, if I remember right. Like
that does sound right.
I think last month I said like it wouldn't surprise me if this ended up in like a no contest, just because both guys are so super protected. But I guess, I mean, Gage is at a point of his career maybe where he just doesn't give a fuck if he loses or not, which might be the case. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good match. It was a really good match. The crowd was lit for it. I think, if I remember right, I think Sabre Jr. took a bump into thumbtacks, which is a thing you don't see him do all that often. So that was pretty cool.
You were surprised?
So, yeah, surprised at that for sure. And the rest of the card was really fun too. Rina and Maki, I remember being really good. Like maybe the match of the night, depending on your point of view. And then I think Janela and Sawyer Wreck as a tag team are really, really good too. Like they just mesh well together.
They have that same unhinged quality that I love.
Yeah.
And yes, I would agree. That tag and Rina and Maki was really good. And then Effie's always fun.
Yep.
On a card.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
From June 23rd, Ride or Die, we had the Bang Bros, don't Google it, defeating Alec Price and Cole Radrick. Jack Cartwheel defeats Arez. Lufisto defeats Robert Anthony. For the GCW title, Jordan Oliver defeats Commander. That was a fucking banger. Los Macizos and Rena defeated one called Manders and the Rejects, which is John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley. In the six-way scramble, Starboy Charlie defeated Bobby Flacco, Hunter Drake, and Jimmy Lloyd, and Kinsey Page and Teriyaki. Teriyaki, I feel like, needs a win here. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But Joey Janela and Sawyer Wreck defeat Bussy. What? El Hijo.
Go on.
Vikingo versus
Metalik.
And then for the title, Blake Christian defeats Gringo Loco in the main event. Yeah, I was surprised that Joey and Sawyer beat Bussy.
Yeah. I feel like they're trying to pump up Janela and Sawyer Wreck as a thing. So I guess that's why they're winning. And I don't know. I feel like they haven't done a ton with Effie lately for whatever reason. Like
what would you do with Effie?
I don't know. Like he feels like the type of guy you could have like a big feud around. Like even like the if you remember the Alley Catch, Charles Mason stuff. Like at a certain point, they just kind of stopped getting Effie involved in it for whatever reason. So I feel like he could have done more there. But I don't know, maybe like a title feud with Blake Christian could be interesting. Maybe have a title match or two there, or hell, even have him face Jordan Oliver or something, or have him do.
Might be fun.
Or death matches. Like he's done death matches before. I think he wrestled Moxley like last year or the year before. So he's a guy who can do a death match if you want him to. I don't know. It's just I don't know, for whatever reason, it seems to me like they're kind of not doing much with him when he's one of the most over guys in the company.
Oh, super over.
I mean, that pop he got in Hartford was ridiculous. So I mean, they could do more with him if they wanted to, but I don't know, for whatever reason, it feels like they don't.
Jordan Oliver and Commander, I remember being really good.
Yep, that was really good. It was quick. It was like 12 minutes.
Little one. Yeah,
but it was good. I'll tell you, I'm the one who's been singing all the praises of every Vikingo match on this podcast, but I was pretty disappointed by this one.
Yeah, no contest in freaking 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was a very weird match. I feel like Metalik was just kind of like, I guess going through the motions would probably be the best way to describe it. Like, I feel like he didn't give it his all, you know? And Vikingo's a guy who brings it every fucking time he goes out there. Yeah. And I don't know if it was just like they didn't mesh well thing. And plus, you had the no contest finish, which I'm assuming had to do with neither guys wanting to lose or something along those lines. But I was disappointed by that. But I did really enjoy the main event of this show. Blake Christian and Gringo Loco, I thought was really good.
Yes, that was really, really good. I continued to love Blake Christian as champ. I feel like he's having as good a run as anybody.
Yeah. He's a very good shitbag heel.
Oh, God, I love it.
He's very good at it.
I love being the only person that cheers for him when he's out there. It's really fun to me. And then Teriyaki I really like. Always enjoy him in a scramble, but I don't know. I know he's real young, but I feel like he needs a win or a series or maybe a tag team partner. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they could easily give him a win in a scramble. I mean, even the one here, like, I mean, I know Starboy Charlie is one of like the guys they really want to bring up, but I don't know. Yeah, the reason why it's a scramble is so some of these guys don't get pinned. It's not like it's an elimination. So I mean, you could have Teriyaki pin someone like a Jimmy Lloyd who's basically bulletproof. So
basically, yes.
I mean, yeah, they could easily give him a win for sure.
All right. So from June 24th, Mastermind, that's the one I went to. It was Cole Radrick defeating Hunter Drake. Alec Price defeat Teriyaki. Rena defeated Effie in one of my favorite matches. Okay. And then we have young, middle-aged, senior average IQ with a pension death kill. Which is Jordan Oliver, Mike Johnson, and Nick Gage defeating Jimmy Lloyd and Los Macizos. So much fun, that freaking match.
Yeah. Yep.
They put so much shine on Mike Jackson that Nick was just like all about making sure Mike was getting over in the match. It was really, really fun. Probably my favorite match, Sawyer Wreck defeated John Wayne Murdoch. Team New South, which is Brandon Williams, Braden Toon, Cabana Man Dan, and Donnie Primetime defeated Team GCW, which was one called Manders, Brogan Finley, Jack Cartwheel, and Starboy Charlie. The world title, and not the main event, was Blake Christian defeating Adam Priest. And then in the death match in the main event was Joey Janela defeating Tank.
Tank is a very large man. I had never seen him before. He looks like he's like 65 years old too. I don't know how old he is, but he looks like an old biker they grabbed somewhere.
Yes.
And it's like, we're gonna have you face Joey Janela here. Here's $30 and some corn nuts, and here we go. But it was super entertaining. The fella that was with him, Dan Wilson. He looks satanic. Like, he looks like he should be in a black metal band.
Yes.
And I didn't know his name was Dan Wilson. And I gotta say, Dan Wilson is not a great name for a guy who has the gimmick that he does.
No. The gimmick was fun. Like, I was like really cute. Like, It was very James Mitchell, you know.
I
Me.
will burn the goats at the pentagram,
Yes,
for my
yes.
name is Dan Wilson. It doesn't fit what
It's awesome.
what he's trying to accomplish there. The Oliver Jackson Nick Gage team is very fun, and it's also a Mad Lib. If a Mad
It
Lib was
is.
a wrestling team, that was very fun. I liked the look of this show too. Like there was a grime to it that I
It's
enjoy.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
the ring didn't even have
It didn't have
apron
an
an
apron. Nope.
apron or anything like that. So that was interesting. It was also bright in there. I think it was just the building itself was very bright, not because of
Yes, it
the
was.
searing, blinding lights that were there, but I believe you mentioned earlier, Jenny, that you have videos
I do have some videos. Yes, I was going to
this
show.
said show.
So here is.
Oh my God! Yes! Oh!
Yes, that's me screaming my balls off.
Was this show in a conference room? Because that's what it looks like.
Basically, yeah, it was like
Yeah.
it's called the Von Braun Center, and yeah, it's like you could like set up your PowerPoint in there.
I was
for
gonna
sure.
say it looked like someone had like a business meeting there like an hour before.
Yes. So that was Rena and Effie, and going through the door. So that was really fun. And this.
Oh snap! Oh!
That was Cole Radrick getting stomped in the corner on his chest. That was so fun. The front row seat, and like you said, no apron or anything. Like you see all the weapons like right under Nick, under there, and that was so cool. And then just getting to see it so close is like so much fun. This I'll wait on. I'll wait on the next one because I don't want to give away one of my picks for later on.
I see.
All right. Do you have any other thoughts from this show?
No, I mean it was a super fun show. I mean Blake Christian again gets another title win under his belt against Adam Priest. I think he's a local guy from that area, if I remember reading correctly. But that was a fun match too. So yeah, I mean super fun show you got there for sure.
All right, what about the next day?
Then we had GCW versus New South 2 as Jack Cartwheel defeated Brogan Finley, Cole Radrick beat Tyler Franks, Hunter Drake defeated Alec Price. Team New South of Donnie Primetime, Rolando Perez, Stunt Marshall, and Walker 13, 13 in Roman numerals, defeated Team GCW of the one called Manders, Bobby Flacco, Jimmy Lloyd, and Jordan Oliver. Effie defeated Dylan McQueen. The Akudo Death Society and Braden Toon of the Flying Tunes defeated John Wayne Murdoch and Los Macizos. Blake Christian defended the world title against Brandon Williams. And in the main event, it was a death match as Rena Yamashita and Sawyer Wreck defeated Kenzie Page and Kylie Alexa. I did not get a chance to watch this show. How about you?
I did not. I was driving from Huntsville on this day.
Yep.
And actually went to a house show in Mobile for WWE that night. So, yeah, this one missed me. So we're just going to assume that it was probably pretty good.
I'm sure it was good.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody knows that it wasn't good, just let us know.
Right. And we will ignore you. And
yeah. We'll just tell you you're dumb. It's fine. Now this one I did watch. Backyard Wrestling number 5 on July 4th. I love these shows.
I do too.
This is like,
you
don't see this crap hardly anywhere else. Like really.
Yep.
And it's so like, intimate. I keep saying it or thinking it and thinking that sounds weird, but it really is.
Yep.
I mean, legit is somebody's house, and this is their backyard.
911's house, in fact.
It was
this year.
not. That's right. It was 911's house, which is insane. And he was there on a tractor watching the show, so that was great. So during that, we had the Chad defeating Ace Wired and Drake Brailer. Jesus, that is a bad name.
That's a bad name.
Really bad.
I agree.
And then Dark Angel, Marcus Mathers defeats Mark Angel. And then Pizza Cat Jr., who is Billy Starks, defeats Charlie Cactus, who is Brogan Finley. I'm unsure of why they have weird names, but I'm just going to keep going with it. I don't know. Maybe you know?
I will tell you.
Okay, good. On the six-way scramble, Mayday Jack, was Cole Radrick. He defeated everybody else and all their aliases. Best 2 out of 3 falls, Ultraviolet Doors Death match. Jimmy Lloyd as Emanon defeats Ariel Crow.
That sounds right. Let's go with that.
Dylan McKay. And then Alex Smith, Berkey the Mobster. This is Mad Libs of people. Haystack Steve. Lance Scraper. Scaper.
These are all very good.
These are all very hard to say. All right. Defeat BTK Killer, Cambodian Dragon, Charlie Tiger, Jordan Oliver, and Tara Zip. Okay. JJ Allen defeats Tarzan Durant. And then the Hair versus Hair. Joey Janela defeats the DILF.
Right. The DILF. Yeah.
In 30 minutes. So all that was terrible to read, and I'm very sorry that anyone had to listen to it ever. But I will say that the show was fucking really fun. Shout out to the Cole Radrick match and the main event. Now tell me why they had these crazy names.
So this is meant to be a throwback to like the old backyard wrestling tapes of like 2004, 2005-ish, where everybody had weird fucking gimmicks and they were literally like diving off the top of people's garages through light tube tables and shit like that. And I think, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think the character changes here is like characters that either they were on the backyard scene or who they used to be, or I think it's something relating to that, and I could be wrong, but that was always the impression that I was under. It was like this is kind of like what their gimmicks were or what their gimmicks would be if they were backyard wrestlers. Like,
I don't know if I missed. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say because like Billy Starks is like 18, so she probably wasn't around when the height of backyard wrestling was a thing. So I'm assuming that's like what her gimmick would have been had she been a backyard wrestler or something like that.
I don't know if I missed that on commentary or whatever, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. Probably both of those things.
I don't think they necessarily
or even
said
if they
it.
acknowledged it, but
I'm not
I
sure
think that's something you might want to say.
Yeah. They might have on the first one, and then they just assumed.
I haven't watched all the backyards. I will say so. What did you like from that show?
I enjoyed the hell out of this show. This show was on July the 4th, so naturally, being all liquored up probably helped enjoyment of this show, but it was super fun, at least from what I remember. Mayday Jack, Cole Radrick, that match was very fun. Beating Big Vin, who is 911's kid. Matt Tremont as Matt Awesome was great. There was Vampiro, not that one, thank Christ. The other one where he used fire, that was fun. The Doors death match, I was disappointed Jim Morrison didn't show up, but it is what it is. That was I think the finish of that, if I remember right, there was a power bomb into a pool with a door in it.
With the door in it.
And the door was supposed to be set on fire, and then it didn't.
Which is probably in the pool.
Which is very backyard wrestling. So that's, there was one match, it might have been the main event, where a child's playhouse was ruined. And that for me was the spot of the night.
That was awesome.
The DILF is, he looks like Cole Radrick's brother, which, depending on your point of view, is either a good or a bad thing. I enjoyed this show. Very fun to watch on July 4th while drinking heavily.
Yeah, it was just like pure chaos. They had like bulldozers, the
Yep.
pool, the little playhouse. I feel like I'm missing one of the gimmicks. I feel like they had something else.
I think Cole at one point jumped off of that big tractor thing.
Yeah, the tractor part. Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't jump off the roof though, did they?
If they did, I don't remember.
I want to say somebody jumped off the roof, but it was chaos, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all sweaty and gross, like
Yep.
dirty, like
Yeah. It looked like it was a barn too in the background.
yeah, yeah.
Like they were going to use like horseshoes as weapons or something. Which I mean,
They might as well have.
I would have been in for it.
All right. So, talk us through what happened on Cleanup Man.
So this is the show I was at. This was July the 8th in Hartford, that suckhole town. Alec Price defeated Brogan Finley, Dustin Waller, and Grim Reaper. Jimmy Lloyd and Wasted Youth defeated the SAT. John Wayne Murdoch beat Cole Radrick and Effie. Charles Mason beat Joey Janela. Blake Christian defended the world title against Richard Holiday. A three-way tag match as Los Macizos defeated Waves and Curls and Yokai. The East West Express defended the tag titles against Gringo Loco and Jack Cartwheel. Utami, I'm going to try it, Haya Shishida, let's go with that,
Nice.
defeated Billy Starks. And in the main event, Nick Gage beat Psycho Clown. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. This show is pretty loaded. Like, I feel like you got most of the big GCW names here. So I think, and then, the crowd was hot. Like I said, the stage was lit. It felt like they were trying to put on a big show for this new market. And I think they pretty much succeeded. Every match was a baseline of fun. And I think the tag title match for me was fantastic. It was really great. Those four guys just meshed super well. Utami's GCW debut was great, and Billy was able to hold her own. And Gage and Psycho Clown was one of those like a spectacle type of match. And it was a good match too. But I think it's a match that becomes great when you're in the building.
Of course.
And
yes.
I just think it was super fun to be in the crowd for a true Nick Cage violent match. I mean, we had doors. There was a barbed wire door in the match.
Nice.
The pizza cutter came out. All kinds of chairs. They brawled all through the building. So, just a super fun show. Seeing Grim Reaper was very cool in the opener. And let me tell you, that is shoot weed he is smoking.
It is
there.
weed. Yep.
Because sweet merciful Moses, we were in the spliff zone in the second row there.
Did you get a little contact high?
A little bit, a little bit. And
that's the best part.
I'll tell you, seeing SAT live was also very cool.
I bet, yeah.
I had never seen them live before, so that was, and they're legends. They've been around forever. So that was super fun seeing them live. And Joey Janela losing to Charles Mason was a thing I was not expecting, but they keep building Charles Mason up too. So, I mean, I know Blake Christian is a heel, but I don't know, are they going to do like a heel title match or something, or?
I feel like he might have a way to go before.
Yeah. And
but beating Joey is sort of a thing, right?
That was a like the crowd was kind of shocked.
Yeah,
like did this just happen? Like it's just, I feel like Joey doesn't lose often, and when he does, it's to like massive guys. So kind of surprised, and not that Charles Mason isn't a massive guy, but like I'm talking like, he loses to Kota Ibushi WrestleMania weekend. Guys of that caliber. And the other note I'll make is, my God, Blake Christian heat. Holy shit.
Oh my God. People just hate him, man.
You could not hear what he was saying being in the building. Like deafening. Like there was maybe one person cheering him. Sort of like shows you go
me.
to. Yeah, right.
Me.
You flew to Connecticut.
I did. You heard it. I was the only one.
But yeah, super fun show. Definitely check it out. The main event was just the entrances alone for the main event were great, between Psycho Clown parading kids around the ring on his shoulders and basically saying hi to everybody in the building. The entrance took 10 minutes, and then Nick Gage doing his thing. Like, yeah.
Oh God,
shit.
it's so fun.
It was a lot. In a good way.
I swear I almost pissed my pants every time during a Nick Gage intro. I
And the
swear
pop.
it is.
The
I
pop.
know the pop. It's fucking
It's
crazy.
it's crazy.
I mean, there's nothing like it. I'm such a fucking mark for it.
Hmm.
I say it every show, but I'm gonna say it every show because
Yeah.
it continues to be awesome.
Hmm.
Um,
But yeah, super fun show. Definitely give it a watch if you didn't. So well worth the 2-hour drive.
definitely. I'm glad. I'm really
Hmm.
glad. All right. So we talked everything through. So I guess we'll get into some of our match picks for the month.
Hmm.
We care a lot about these matches.
Hmm.
Which one did you go with?
Well, I think we're both going to be uh, biased, perhaps,
Probably so.
because we went to a couple of these shows. But
That's good. I like when we don't pick the same match.
I I think I got to go with the tag title match from the show I went to,
Yep.
East West Express. Easy for me to say, against Gringo Loco and Jack Cartwheel. Just a great fucking match. Gringo Loco brings it every time he's out there. Seeing him I feel like we don't see him in tags all that often.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really good in this match, just kind of doing his thing, taking the hot tag from Jack Cartwheel. And Oliver and Wayne beat the shit out of Jack Cartwheel for a good portion
Oh
of
yeah.
this match. Like, kind of like the Andersons, like just targeting a limb. And I mean, a very great value Andersons, obviously, but just like targeting a limb and just beating the fuck out of it. Like his cartwheel hand. They went after his cartwheel hand.
Oh no, not his cartwheel hand.
I know, it was very upsetting to many in the audience, but yeah, just a great match. Oliver and Wayne they just mesh so well together as a team, and you could tell like they genuinely care about each other too, and that comes across in all their matches too. So
They have so much chemistry.
yeah, just a super fun match. I'll tell you, sneaky fun match too on this show was the three-way tag: Macizos, Waves and Curls, and Yokai. Waves and Curls is a local Northeast tag team. They've been on
Oh really?
They've been on GCW. They were at the GCW Providence show I went to last year, and they got one of the biggest pops of that show. And they're just a super fun tag team. They come to the ring to "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston, and the place just goes fucking crazy. They have confetti poppers, and they're super fun to watch. And I really liked that match a lot. Now, they got their asses beat by Macizos, but just a super fun match. So, but yeah, I got to go. And the main event was super fun too, Gage and Clown, just for the whole spectacle of everything. But I think the best pure match on that show was the tag title match for me.
So what do you do with the tag titles with Nick Wayne? I mean, I don't know that he's leaving, but he's going to AEW to work. So what are we doing now?
He had a post-match promo after that match where he said he's going to stick around.
Oh, okay.
And so maybe they're going to let him do both. So, I mean, if that's the case, like, keep the titles on him, like, you know.
Of course, yeah.
But, like, and we'll get to it. There's a show upcoming where they're going to defend the tag titles. Like, I could see them losing it there if it turns out Nick Wayne is in fact leaving. But if Nick Wayne didn't lie to the crowd in Hartford and he was real when he said, look, they're going to let me basically do both, then I don't think you take the tag titles off of them right now. They're just too fucking good.
That's a lot of work, but also I don't know how much work he's actually going to be doing at AEW. You know?
Right.
So it could be just, you know, sort of business as usual when it comes to GCW, depending on how they use them there. I'll save my thoughts on that shit, but okay. So for me, my match pick for June comes from Mastermind in Huntsville, of course, and I have to do the death match between Sawyer Wreck and John Wayne Murdoch. Sawyer is so creepy. She's so creepy. I love it about her. And the whole crowd just loves her. Everybody just loves her.
Yep.
And then she just fucking bleeds and grinds and is so gross and fantastic. I have a couple of clips. Let's see what I saved it for, so we can see what Sawyer got up to when I got to see her on the front row. All right. Sorry if you're on audio form, but here we go. I love to see her fight a big dude too. There's just something about her and a big dude.
I tell you,
so tall.
He is a deceivingly large man.
He's very large.
Is John Wayne Murdoch. Holy hell. When he came to the ring, I was not expecting that man to be that big.
But she doesn't have, it doesn't take anything from her presence. Like, she has just as much stature and presence as he does, for sure. And then this was probably my favorite spot of the night. The first one that I just showed was with the gusset plates or whatever. They put them on their foreheads and they smacked foreheads. So this was a whole lot bloodier and so much fucking fun.
Oh my God! Holy crap! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Oh my God. I was losing my mind.
This poor woman screaming in the crowd in horror.
Oh
You could hear her in the background.
Oh my God. It was so great. Just when she rolled over and then he just like stuck them in her face. And like, oh, so fucking great. And the girl beside me, she ended up tweeting me later. And she was like, that was my first show and I was beside you and thanks for screaming the whole time. So great. But yes, if you're a fan of blood and intergender wrestling, that's it. Which I am. Huge fan of both of those. All right, moving along. Alrighty. What do we have for upcoming shows?
So on July the 14th, this is from New York City, I think Melrose Ballroom. We have Now and Forever, and this is a very loaded show as we have Grim Reaper, Homicide, and Matt Tremont against Jimmy Lloyd and Los Macizos. That's the first match I just read. Good Lord.
It is.
Lufisto will take on Utami Hayashishida. Mike Bailey will face Yoshihiko, aka a blow-up doll. Gringo Loco will face Arez and Commander in a three-way.
There you go.
Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander will face Ali Catch and Effie, known as Bussy, of course.
Match of the night.
George South will face Mance Warner. My God. I'll tell you, that's the one disappointing thing, if I can interrupt myself.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
interrupt myself, yeah. No Second Gear crew in Hartford because they were working the MLW show, so I was disappointed by that. But that was the one disappointing. I would have liked to have seen Mance and crew again, but small potatoes, I guess.
Right.
The East West Express defend the tag titles against Amazing Red and Brian XL, and I believe this will be the main event. Blake Christian defends the world title against Mao. So,
do I know who Mao is?
I think he wrestled on the DDT shows WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, okay.
I want to say he's Speedball's tag partner when they go to Japan, when they go to DDT.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting.
So, speaking of Japan, after that, GCW will be going to Japan from July 17th through the 20th. But as of this recording, no matches have been announced yet, which is kind of strange. And
Mm-hmm.
if I remember right, I don't think they did Japan shows last year, and I don't think they aired live on Fight. I want to say they aired like on a tape delay, like they aired them like maybe a couple of days later. So I think but I think they even announced matches for those shows, if I remember right. So I don't know why they haven't announced anything yet as of this recording. So kind of strange that they haven't done that, but it's always interesting when they go to Japan because especially Japan crowds, they are very different from American GCW crowds.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see a crowd respond to them.
They're just, I mean, Japanese fans like deathmatch wrestling. The deathmatch, it's a whole thing over there, but they're very quiet. So it's just kind of weird. Like you can hear like the light tube shards falling to the mat after it happens. It's kind of, it's an interesting venue or way to watch a deathmatch. So, but after that, I believe you will be at this show, Jenny. Correct? My name.
Yes, I will. In
this
Detroit.
Detroit. My name is like the Eminem song on August the 4th. 2 matches announced for that so far as Joey Janela will face Commander and Speedball will face Leo Rush. So those will be 2 very good matches that you're that you're getting there in Detroit, Rock City.
And I found out today, of course, that Jeff Hardy's going to be in attendance.
And that sure is a choice that they've made.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I get why they're doing it. He's a big name. Bring him in. Bring some people in who are going to be there for SummerSlam, who have zero idea what GCW is. See if you can. Jeff Hardy's here. See if you can draw him in the building. But I guess I was reading on Twitter right before this that he's just making an appearance. He's not going to wrestle.
Not even wrestling. So it seems like what?
I don't know. Like, I get Jeff Hardy's a big name and he's super popular, and I know I'm very much in the minority on this when it comes to Jeff Hardy. But I don't know. Like, you're not even going to have him wrestle. Like, is Jeff Hardy in 2023 that big of a draw that he's going to bring people in? I don't know. I saw that today and I was very shocked, confused.
I thought it was interesting that they had to note that he was not going to be wrestling.
Right.
It was like, okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I assumed he was going to.
I mean, you would think he's a wrestler, and you're announcing him as a special guest,
like when they announced Sabu for the show in Hartford, I knew he wasn't wrestling because it's Sabu,
Right.
But Jeff Hardy's a different beast. He signed with AEW, So
what did Sabu do in that show? We didn't even talk about Sabu.
We didn't. He just signed autographs. Basically, he didn't.
Oh, really? He didn't.
Yeah, it was just like an autograph signing, I guess. I didn't see him because I went straight to my seat and was getting drinks and whatnot. But I didn't. But I guess it was just an autograph signing. So maybe that's a new thing they're gonna do, like bring in a legend to try and get some people who are on the fence in. I don't know.
Okay, let them have a concert after the show. I guess I don't know.
What if Sabu had a concert? My God,
that would be awesome.
But yeah, that was I saw that today and was very weirded out by. I just assumed, I thought in my head, all right, have him face fucking Blake Christian or something. But no, he's just gonna show up and do a thing.
He's just gonna be like, "Hey."
Yeah, right. Hi, I'm Jeff Hardy. Good to see you.
Jeff Hardy, nice.
Buy a ticket for my rave show thing that I'm doing afterwards.
Basically, that's fine.
Super weird. Super weird.
So on August 11th, we have No Signal in the Hills. Okay. Is that from LA or something?
It is. It's from the Ukrainian cultural.
Nice. Gringo Loco versus Leo Rush. Joey Janela and Sawyer Wreck versus the Rejects. And Nick Gage versus Johnny Game Changer.
If there's a God, Nick Gage. I know, but Nick Gage will kill Johnny Game Changer.
I mean, if there's
please, I don't ask for much. I really don't.
I think he'll come through for you, Matt.
Oh, thank God. Johnny Mundo, Nitro, Game Changer, Impact, Bloodsport, whatever name he has this week. Good. Just go away, please.
You really hate him.
I'm not a fan of his.
I
I
could
think
tell.
he's just kind of super overrated and always has been.
Yeah.
Sort of like
I-
it's weirdly enough he carries the same headspace in my head as Jeff Hardy, so makes perfect sense.
Oh, that same little category of
Yeah,
like, I don't
of
really care. Yeah.
overrated. Yeah.
Mhm. Can we put Mimosa Joe over there?
Oof.
I don't know.
Like
That's personal
li-
preference.
like have him face Nick Gage.
No, just like in the overrated category of your brain.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not ready to do that.
You're not
I
ready.
mean, after a certain time, this is a whole other conversation where we're
You're
gonna
right.
get
I'm
into it.
gonna throw the
That has
curveball at
nothing to do with GCW, but
you. All right. Well, that was fun, and
hmm
that was a lot to cover. And I'm super excited for Detroit,
yeah,
and I hope that you get another show by the end of the year as well.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
I'll go to Hartford again. It's close enough. I mean, it's only 2 hours, but
How far would you travel for GCW?
I mean, I'll tell you, I've been thinking about doing a Jersey show next year in Atlantic City.
How far is
Uh,
that?
for me, 5.5 hours, something
See,
like that.
I did 6. You can do
Maybe a
it.
little less. I'd have to look.
Yeah.
I've been to Atlantic City. I should know this, but I don't.
Well, that'll be a goal then.
hmm
I do want to remind all of our great listeners and watchers. That sounds weird to call you watchers, but that's what you are if you're watching this.
hmm
Our our friends at the GCW Plant Podcast, they
hmm
go through all of the GCW shows. They are doing big upgrades to their podcast as well,
hmm
that I saw on Twitter, and they're going to be doing video format soon. And they do the deep dives on all the shows. So
hmm
any possible thing that you could want to know, definitely check them out
hmm
for longer form reviews. They're great, and they hooked us up like recently. Really nice. I reached out and got a nice hookup. So that was really cool. I
hmm
don't mean hook up in that way. I just mean like we got some cool seats that we ordinarily probably wouldn't have gotten
hmm
for Detroit. So they
hmm
helped us out. So anyway, that's what I meant by that. Not to make it weird. And talk to me about stuff that you want to promote, Matt.
Oh boy, we got all kinds of stuff here on the this
Yeah.
no so feed. We got 7 months of danger, which is a podcast that just wrapped up. Our last episode of that is up now. We're done. We're done with the Dangerous Alliance. We finished it. We completed it. We talked about war games. It is over. So go
Mhm.
back and listen to all of those. All 23, 24. Sean's gonna kill me for not knowing. 23, I think. One of those, somewhere in the 20s. Listen to all those. That was a ton of fun to do. So listen to all that. We got Highway to the Impact Zone over on the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, where we live watch TNA wrestling, and by use the term live watch very very loosely. Jenny, you were a guest on that recently, and you
Mhm.
can attest to how loosely the live watch format. It's not a serious wrestling podcast, is what I'm getting
No,
at. So
no.
and also, with live watching, we also have YouTube Roulette on that very same feed where a group of guys, we pick matches from YouTube, watch them, and talk over them, Mystery Science Theater style. So give all that a listen. Follow me on Twitter at msouza1991.
I'm going to second the 7 Months of Danger podcast recommendation because I listened to it all and y'all were great. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm proud of
Thank
you
you.
guys for making it all the way through. It's quite an accomplishment to finish a podcast. I feel like anyway.
Thank you.
I'll do it one day. Um, and as for me on Wednesdays, you can listen to my shows here on the Jenny Position. This show, Talking Docs, and you heard about Pluto. And I think I'm going to have something new coming pretty soon, as long as I can settle on something. And you can follow me on Twitter at Jenny Position, and also leave a review. Like and subscribe to everything that we do, and check us out on the website as well, northsouthconnection.com. So that's it for us, and we will see you next month.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.